Hello everyone. So the point of this tutorial is to show you in a step-by-step way how to create a dynamic clusters and selectable clusters using the K-mean algorithm within Qlik Sense. So let's directly jump into it. The first step would be to load the data I'll be working with. So there are different ways, whether from the data catalog, file and other sources, or the data load editor. So I'll be just selecting the file and data sources and go to the practice data and drag and drop. That's it. It exists. Yes, replace please. And next. That's it. I've already loaded the data, sample data that I'll be using to create this exercise, and close. So now the point is how to create these clusters using the K-means algorithm and using two different measures. Should I do it from the scratch? Absolutely not. For that, we have the Insight Advisor that could help us achieving this type of things. What we do is just go to the Insight Advisor and create an analysis, and then go and select the clustering with K-means. I will create it. I will be using the net sales and the profit for now, and I'll be adding the product as my dimension. And what Qlik will do, it will create for you this product clustered by net sales and profit using the K-mean algorithm to create selectable clusters. What I do is just add it to the sheet and my new sheet, and then go and open the sheet, and here we have it. We have this cluster that has been created for me using the K-means, and we can show this in the coloring what expression he's using to create the cluster. So the point now is to not create this cluster for the products and by net sales and profit and that's it. But what I want to do is being able to choose, to freely choose what to focus on. Should I focus on product or on countries, on net sales, on gross sales? What combination of measures and KPI I want to focus on? And to do that, we shall create dynamic dimensions and dynamic measures. How to do it? This would be the step 2. Let's start with creating a variable for the dimension. It will be the dynamic dimension. And as a definition, it will have the country maybe. Insert. This value is the by default value assigned to our variable if you don't select anything. So this is the first variable I created, and then I'll be creating two measures, one for the x-axis and the other for the y-axis. So create, let's call it the dynamic measure 1, or x for the x-axis, and the definition would be net sales, to have sum of net sales. So we apply, we create, and then we go to this, we duplicate it, it would be called y, and let's have profit as the by default value. Apply and go. Duplicate. So here we have our dynamic dimension, our dynamic measure x, and our dynamic measure y. Third step is creating a way to select different values and assign different values per variable. And to do that, we have the input variable object or variable input object we could use to achieve this goal. So the first one, let's add a title, select a dimension, And let's go to the properties, go select the variable which will be the dynamic dimension, assign it to having a dynamic dimension, have a drop down, and for the values I want them to be dynamic, and the values would be country. This is all the dimensions I want to work with. And second, I'll be working with product, and I want to work with a segment. Is there anything else interesting? Yeah, I think this is it for now. So these are the values that we could assign to our dynamic dimension, and then what we do is just copy, paste, and paste, because why not? If you have the ability to do it, we should do it. So here select the x-axis, and the variable would be the dynamic measure x, and here we'll be having the net sales, insert the gross sales, the profit, to have sum of net sales, sum of gross sales, sum of profit, and even add the units sold. That are the 4 KPI I want to focus on in my data source. For the x-axis, y-axis, select the y-axis, and it would be the y-axis, and let's assign the same 4 KPI I want to focus on. So now, to be able to achieve our goal, will be, instead of having some statically defined dimension and x and y axis, we'll be using our variables to achieve that goal. So instead of having product, I'll be calling the dollar dynamic dimension, which will be having the country as the by default value, which is the field country that we have in our data set. So we have country, go boom, and here we'll be having the country. The second step is to replace the net sales by our dynamic measure x, dynamic measure x, boom. Let's copy this, add it as a label, equal, quote, boom, and have the same thing in the y-axis to call our y-axis variable the dynamic measure y. Just copy the name, it's profit by default, apply, go to the label, boom, 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 and we're good to go. There is something else I want to do, because we've seen that to create the clusters, Qlik do it through the color by dimension. So now, instead of having the product statically defined, now I think you know what to do. We call our dynamic dimension. Instead of having the net sale that was the x-axis, we'll be having the dynamic measure x, and instead of having the profit, we'll be having the dynamic, absolutely, measure y variable. And there we have it. We could do another thing, is changing the title to make it dynamic and adapt it to what we want to focus on. So instead of having this, we'll be having the dynamic dimension, the dynamic measure y, and the dynamic measure x, boom, 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 boom. So this will replace the product, cluster it, and cluster it by This will replace the net sales, which will be the x-axis, and this will replace the product, the profit, and between quotes k-means. We see country clustered by net sales and profit, and the method is k-means. So what we do, let's test it. Select the dimension, product. Yeah, these are the products. Select the XY. I want to work with gross sales. Yeah, you see, gross sales. Select the x-axis, units sold. And yeah, you see. And we have our dynamic clusters that are selectable. You click on them and you will select 5 of the 6 products that were part of the first cluster, and then it will recreate a new cluster based on the k-mean algorithm. So this was the way to create selectable clusters using the k-mean algorithm within Qlik Sense in a dynamic way. Hope you like it. Bye bye.